Fellow Rotarians and guests, welcome to the Rotary Club of Pleasanton,
The world's greatest Rotary Club.
This meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing on our YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome all of our visitors, and we hope you enjoy our meeting. If any visitor wants to learn about becoming a member, please see Ricky or myself after the meeting. I'd like to thank Julio for taking attendance, Dennis for collecting the money, and Ricky for running our technology. Our pledge today is led by Pete McDonald. Please raise the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And today's week here is being led by our foundation president, Steve Van Dorn, retiring as the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. Thanks, Phil. Anybody have any week care over here? No? Okay. I don't see any hands. One of our members and having them tell us stories from the past. So take it away. Okay. So I'm supposed to tell about Rotary in the 80s, and just raise your hand when I'm at 5 minutes. I've got a 5-minute limit here. You get these old Rotarians talking, you know how that goes. It could go on and on. I joined Rotary in March of 1984. I was hired as city attorney in Pleasanton in June of 1982. And after I'd been city attorney for a while, a couple of the council members said, hey, we would like you to join a service club. We want you to be out in the community. We want you to be part of the community. We want you to be hearing the things that we're hearing, which all sounded like a great idea. But I said, hey guys, I checked out the various clubs. This is going to cost money, and you guys are paying me a pittance. I need a little more money. They said, okay, we'll pay your Rotary membership, but we won't pay your fine. That later came back to haunt everybody when the teachers union was up at the city council meeting saying, is the city paying for your city attorney to be part of a sexist organization? So I said, hold on, I'm a Rotarian now. I'm paying my own dues. I'm doing this because I want to be here. So when I joined, Jerry Lamberti was the president. I had to reconstruct the presidents during the 1980s. Jerry Lamberti, he was an orthodontist. Ray Seraphin was the next president. He was a chiropractor in town. Bill Lenson, who still comes to our meetings now and again, was the next president. He was an insurance guy. Chris Miller was one of the best real estate agents in town. John Engelman, I think he owned Pleasanton Rentals. Dean Scanoni owned Pacific Nursery. He was the next president. These last couple, I may not have the exact order. Like I said, I'm reconstructing from memory. Dean Scanoni was also on the Zone 7 board and on the State Water Resources Control Board. And Bob Nevery, he's the guy who practically invented the cardboard compactors that you see behind these grocery stores. He almost invented the business. He was a Safeway executive and had to figure out how to get rid of him. So first, I'd like to say how informal and kind of easygoing Rotary was when I joined, and a lot of the things were just not quite as formal, except I'd say this. At least 3/4 of the men, if not more, would have a tie on at Rotary meetings back in the 1980s. So one thing has changed. Does anybody have a tie on here today?
Jim Colson.
Yeah. There's got to be one or two now. Well, that was the uniform. Like we get ready for Blue Badge, instead of having the whole checklist, they basically had a bunch of the new members just sit down with a couple of the old members, and they'd say, here's how we do it in Rotary. The one thing I remember was when the president asked for help, you step up. You know, you're gonna be a Rotarian, that's when the president asks for help, you step up. That was the key message I got, and then I got my blue badge. Just the kind of thing that would happen. The corn roast, which later became the art wine and corn roast, and then became the spirit run, was going on. And it was like the week before, somebody said, "Hey, don't we have the corn roast coming up? Who's buying the corn?" And we just basically, it was a little fundraiser and we'd sell it at Amador Park. But it was just so informal. It wasn't something like 6 months of work went into it ahead of time. It was like we brought all the corn and barbecued it and sold corn for bucket a year or something like that. The kind of thing that would happen. Ray Seraphin was probably one of the few Democrats in the club at the time, but after Reagan won in the landslide in the '84 election, he said, "Well, I'm a Democrat and I feel bad about this. So all you guys who voted for Reagan, I want you all to ante up $10 for the prize." Try that nowadays. When Bill Ensign was president, the Duarte decision came down, the California court decision that explained that you couldn't deduct the Rotary dues for business because it discriminated against women, and therefore you had to let women in the Rotary, or I'll stop calling it a business expense. So Lenton had me explain that to the club, and I also had to explain that based on that, my sister had become the first lady Rotarian in the state of Montana. My sister Sharon. They couldn't quite turn her down because she was the alumni director at the University of Montana, and they have real kind of close relations, and so they figured, somehow they would fight. And there was a lot of controversy about gradually bringing women in. And I want to say, one of the things that Chris Miller did, not when he was president, but later on, he really helped Pleasanton North come to grips with it. In our club, we came to grips and brought women in, and the way we did it was Frank Capilla introduced, or proposed Deborah McKeon. I proposed Shelby McNamara. She had a different name at the time. She was the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Somebody was, I think Susan Coder, or somebody like that, was the president of the junior college. Barbara Allen, who later became Barbara Berlager, was, a CPA accountant. And we all submitted them for membership at the same time, and basically said, "Hey guys, women are coming in and work," and so it really happened smoothly in this club. Pleasanton North didn't go quite so well. John Engelman. Yeah. Okay, my 5 minutes up. John Engelman would be sitting there running the Rotary meeting, hanging, with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. It was just great. All right. Thank you, Pete. We'll bring you back to part 2 another time. My big takeaway from that whole thing was when the president asks you to do something, you step up. Yeah. So I'll be talking to you about the spirit. Yeah. I'd like to welcome our visiting Rotarians in the room. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? I know there's at least one here. I'll introduce both of them. Bob Pecknut from the Dublin Club, past president, and my brother-in-law, Ray Down, who's visiting from Lompoc, and he's a past president of the Lompoc Club. Welcome, Ray. Welcome, Bob.
I'm going to tell you about that women in Rotary. I was the president, 85, 86, in San Diego Club. So, and I was also the chair of the district assembly with the San Jose State. It was my job to get a welcome from the president. She was a female, a woman. And so I tried it, and she said, "No, you don't take women." So I got the vice chancellor, whatever I got. And I said, "Hey, time come, guys. We're going to have door shutters. We're going to have to get this done." Ivan Cornelius, still active in Rotary. Him and I brought in the first woman into San Diego. Not nearly as bad as you guys in Pleasanton. They're gonna hold down the line, but congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Bob. I think Jim is gonna have a. All right. Visiting us and our feature presentation today is Jim Ott from PNR, our assistant collaborator. Are there any? Yeah. And while all of the women that I know are females, although in this building we live in, it's sometimes not true, right? Would you like to introduce your visitor, please? And we welcome our students and their parents and their teachers, and we'll introduce them a little later. Any other guests of Rotarians in the room? Randy?
I'd like to introduce President Bill, Rotarians. I'd like to introduce Jim Capiccioli. He's retired, but now he is an amazing handyman. So if you need any great work done, probably can't call him because he's probably booked for a year or two.
Welcome, Jim. Did I miss anybody? No, we're gonna look at Zoom here.
Oh, Ricky, that's Ricky's guest. Sorry, I forgot.
We have Zoomers. I see Clark. You want to unmute?
Unmute, guys. You got to unmute.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Clark. Hey, Clark. Harvey, you want to say hello?
Hello.
Larry, sorry, we can't hear you.
Hello, everyone. I'm here. How are you?
Hey, Larry. All right, well, welcome to our Zoomers. Today is a special day for songs. Ott is going to sing us a song that he wrote the lyrics to. He stole the
Doesn't say there.
you'll recognize. Remember, Crystal Gale had a song back in the 80s that was referred to as the Donut song. Do you remember that song? Because she sang, "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue," right? So this is going to be "Don't It Make My Red Badge Blue," okay? So he's going to sing that song for you right now.
I wore my badge today from the Pleasanton North Club. It actually says Song Master on it. It used to say banking, now it says song. So this is to all red badgers that need to step it up a little bit so you get that blue badge. Here we go, a little encouragement. Hey, all red badgers, this song is for you. It's time to do whatever is left to do. Like changing colors, it's true. It's time to turn your red badge blue. Join a committee, cause that's required. Attend the board meeting, get inspired. And make some friends, it's true. You got to turn your red badge blue. Check all the boxes, it's the thing to do. Then we can cheer and we can honor you. So pass the test that makes you ready to toss out your red and turn your badge to
Blue.
soon everybody's gonna praise your name. You know you'll never ever be the same. Best of all for you. You'll toss your red badge, you'll wear a new badge, you'll turn your red badge blue.
There's a number of announcements. I'm going to run through them all instead of parading a bunch of people up in front of you. First of all, I'd like to thank all of our Rotarians and the other clubs that participated in the mural painting project and the Sleep in Heavenly Peace bunk bed building project. You did a lot of good for a lot of people, and that's what Rotary is all about. So thank you to you guys.
45 beds, Bill.
45 beds.
25.
25 beds. That's 50 kids sleeping on a bed instead of on the floor or in their parents' bed. And that's all in Alameda County.
The district conference is April 22nd through 24th. You sign up on the District 5170 website. It's free to attend the conference. The only thing you pay for is meals. They would like you to register for the conference prior to going so they can have a name badge waiting for you when you arrive there. I know Steve Van Dorn, G-Schwag, Ricky, and myself are all attending on Saturday. We just plan on going for the day on Saturday and then leaving at dinner time. You're welcome to join us if you'd like to do that. Sign up for lunch if you do, so we can all have lunch together. The progressive dinner is Saturday, April 30th. Pre-dinner cocktails are at Black Tie Transportation. We need some host homes. Each home will host 4 people plus the homeowners for a dinner for 6. The co-chairs are Joyce Shapiro and Grace Nash. Please see Joyce and Grace to sign up to host. Reach out to them before they reach out to you. The poker tournament is Friday, May 20th. This is our second largest fundraiser that we do for the year. Randy's already done a fabulous job of rounding up a bunch of sponsors. So we plan on having a record year. I think we're shooting for $25,000. Please ask your friends, family, and coworkers to sign up. It's a really fun night. Our theme this year will be the Roaring 20s Revisited. So we're encouraging everybody to dress up as their gangster style from the 20s. We need volunteers to work the event, and we need players. The website is not yet live, but it'll go live soon. It'll be pokerevent.pleasantonrotary.org to sign up to buy tickets. That's it. Sorry for all those announcements, but there's a whole bunch of those. Now it's time for our RI video. We started doing that last year when President Ginger initiated it, and I've continued it this year. Ricky, can you run that?
If you're watching this, there's probably clean water in your bathroom, your kitchen, and your cup. That's not the case for 844 million people worldwide. You can make an impact by joining Rotary's Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene Education Initiative. Together with our partners, we can solve the clean water crisis by 2030. We're already hard at work. Our local Rotary clubs mobilize community partners and invest in resources to provide clean water, improved sanitation, and training. Our Rotarians are rooted in the community, collaborating with local leaders for long-term change. Each piece of this chain is connected, none more important than the other, but we need every link. We need you. Be a part of the solution. Be a part of 2030. Visit rotary.org/WASH.
Great. Thank you, Ricky. We do have a WASH committee in our club. It's a new committee that was formed by the Harringtons. We've already completed our first WASH project in Nigeria, which was a 6-stall bathroom, I believe, complete with hand washing station. And they are currently working on 2 other projects, one in Nigeria, one in Ghana. Yeah, I always forget the name of that one. The WASH committee is active, and if you are interested in becoming a member of that, please reach out to Gary and Nancy. I'd like to invite Jim Hansen to come forward and bring your whole posse with you. We have our student of the quarter from Village, who is Angel Perez Gallegos, and we have our student of the month from Amador, which is Delaney Roars, our March student of the month.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the Vice Principal from Amador, Athena Duran.
Okay, so thank you for having us. So this is Delaney Roars, and she is one of our seniors who is actually really special to us at Amador. So she transferred here her senior year this year from Missouri. She has a really challenging background. She's had some struggles that probably many of us have never seen and hopefully never will see at such a young age. So she came here with the support of her guardian, Heather, who's here, and has been an amazing advocate for her. So she had some struggles, school and things like that at home, and she's really excelled here at Amador, and it's been really amazing. She has a 4.0 plus GPA. She's a pleasure to have on campus. She's active in drama and choir. And that is why we wanted her to be the Rotary Student of the Month.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Pleasanton, I'd like to present you with this certificate. that says you're student of the month for March, and this check for $100 from the Rotary Club. Congratulations. If you want to say anything, you don't have
Hi, I'm Delaney Rohr. Thank you so much for having me. I want to thank everyone here. I will not remember any of your names, so I'm really bad at that. I want to thank Heather, obviously, and my other guardian, Alan, for bringing me here and supporting me, and thanking everyone in the Amber staff because they have been so nice to me. They were so great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. You guys are lovely.
All right, now I'd like to bring Janice Clark from Village. She's filling in as vice principal. She's actually retired. She's way too young to be retired, but she is retired, and she's going to introduce our student of the quarter from Village.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. Such a great pleasure to be with the Rotary guys. You're always so much fun. Because I am new and I am filling in for Heather Pereira, the principal, she insisted that I read what your staff of teachers and the principal have put together, because I've only been there for about 2 or 3 weeks. I will say when I came on the first day as a new administrator to Village, new person, who's my people. And this guy right here stood out, and I'm not kidding, he stood out. There was an aura about him. Great energy, very welcoming, and ever since then, he has been very gracious and a pleasure to see throughout the day. You're awesome. And I do want, his mother is right here, Erica. I want to just say thank you to you for raising this kid, but I want to tell you, you made a comment to me on a couple days in, and it showed me right away the respect and the love that he has for his family outside of his Village family. And that is a good thing to see in these days. Okay, here's what they say about you, and I agree. Angel Perez Gallegos. When I think of Village High School and what it can do for students, I think of Angel's experience. He takes full advantage of what this school has to offer. He comes to school each day ready to learn, work, and bring joy to those around him. His positive demeanor is infectious. If you came to campus, you might catch him rapping in the halls or working hard on an assignment. I look forward to seeing how he develops in the future. His future, we think, is bright. Angel is a student who has shown a lot of growth over his time at Village. He is hardworking, a self-starter, always polite, and simply a pleasure to work with. He's helpful to the other students and very engaged in class and activities. Angel embodies what we want to see at Village, someone who has embraced the school, learning, and the opportunity to grow. Angel is a very respectful and introspective student. He excels in his academics because he is a well-prepared thought leader. Angel is not afraid to demonstrate his limitations of understanding a subject or content, and he happily expresses his understanding of what needs to be learned or further understood by posing questions in his own analysis. That's a big deal in our teaching and learning world. He is eloquent in his words and in his conversations in class discussions. He has earned the respect of his peers and staff inside and outside of class. Angel uses his skills daily to further his education in all aspects of high school and will continue to succeed in his future goals because of his preparedness. Angel, you are an exemplary young adult, and I congratulate you for this honor. And we thank you to the Rotary for it. So you also, because of this wonderful group, this is the good part, you get a wonderful certificate, and you don't want to forget your $100. That's always good. Okay.
I'd like to say thank you to all that are here. You seem like a lovely group of individuals. To be honest, I look at all your faces now that we don't have masks, and I'm like, wow, y'all seem like y'all do something here. I'm very proud to receive this award and have such wonderful words be said on. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you.
Fantastic. Let's hear it again for our students.
In our January meeting, I recapped all of the Rotarian of the Month awards for the first 6 months of our term. And a certain member that was our August honoree was not present. So I have this to present to Mr. Mark Canis, Rotarian of the Month for August, for everything that he's done for our public image committee, our website, just getting us everything that, whenever we need anything technical, we go to Mark or Ricky and they get it done. So thank you, Mark. Which segues me to the Rotarian of the Month award for the month of March. Goes to an individual that's going to go, what? I get an award? Yep. This guy's been quietly working behind the scenes, making community service projects happen. Very grateful to offer this to Steve Baker. Please come forward. Okay, now it is time for our program. And I have his bio, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you right now. Dr. Jim Ott is a professor of English, and I can't even speak English, okay? At Los Positas College. He's a charter member of 35 years of Pleasanton North Rotary Club. In addition to teaching, Jim was an executive in banking for 30 years. For 15 years, he wrote a human interest column published in the Tri-Valley Times, and he served as a trustee for the Pleasanton Unified School District from 2005 to 2010. Jim is here today to share a hobby and an interest he has had since he was 10 years old. Let's welcome Jim.
He was poet laureate of Pleasanton when I went to dinner to Pleasanton in 2002.
Thank you, Ricky, for remembering that. Being part of being an English teacher. All right, well, we're gonna start out with the presentation, PowerPoint. And he's gonna click it over. What I'll do is not quite yet on the light. We can do that in a minute. Yeah, so let's do it.
Is that you? I don't even know what that is. Okay, hang on. I don't even know what's going on. The Rotary International video decided to start playing again.
I love that music though. Did I steal that? Anyway, all right.
All those good things I said about you, Ricky.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget, Ricky was here at 7 o'clock this morning setting this stuff up. And I joined him.
That's how you do.
I have a lot of things to do. It's incredible the amount of work that goes into setting this up. So thank you so much for having me here today. I want to talk about a hobby that I've had since I was 10 years old. Did it for a little while, and then I put it away for a lot of years, and it's kind of come back up, bubbled up. So here it is. Keeping alive the art of ventriloquism. These are some of the expressions we think of. Talk with them with your lips. Obviously, you got to be able to do that. Speaking from the belly, that's what ventriloquist means. It's a Latin term for speaking from the belly. We don't really speak from the belly. We like to make it sound mysterious, like, ooh, you're speaking from the belly. No, it's just coming right out of my mouth here. Right? Throwing your voice. I think Joyce asked me, was I going to throw my voice today? And I said, we'll see. Throwing your voice again is you don't ever really throw your voice, right? The voice comes right out of here. It's all illusion. And then who's the dummy? And it's always the ventriloquist. Right? All right. Oh, before I click, this is the annual convention that takes place each year, right in Cincinnati, Ohio, and just across the border is Kentucky, where they're, well, we'll see in a minute, but one of your fellow Rotarians from this club is right here. And other than Ricky and Bill, who can tell me who's a ventriloquist in your club as a past president?
Dick Fitzmaurice.
Very good, Dick Fitzmaurice, that's right. Dick has since moved to Lincoln, and I've had a chance to visit him a couple times up there in Lincoln, and we both have tickets to the Jeff Dunham, you've heard of Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist. We're going to be going to see him. All right, let's move on here. I think.
Is it on? Remember, gotta slide it?
Yeah, you saw the little red light, right?
No, that doesn't mean it's on.
Oh. I pushed down.
Batteries.
Yeah, next time I'll do 6:30. You want to just do it manually?
Yep.
Okay, next slide. Okay, don't push too quick now. All right, you got to guess who these people are. Lots of us, lots of famous people were ventriloquists when they were little. So far left, who is that? No, good guess. No, Brad. His name will come up in a little bit. How about I give you a hint?
Andy Griffiths. No, Don Knotts.
Don Knotts, that's right. Push the button.
Yeah.
The other button, there you go. All right, who's the next? You recognize this guy.
Johnny Carson.
All right, and then who's this? I'll give you a hint. She is a fiction writer. You can tell she's Asian, right?
Amy Tan.
Amy Tan, that's right. And then last, we could be here all week. You'll never get this one. Let's just go ahead. And
Larry might.
Beaver. That's Beaver Cleaver. Oh, I was close.
Bob Dylan. Yeah, Beaver Cleaver and Bob Dylan. So many similarities.
Very close.
All right, next slide. Ventriloquism began in ancient times, but the father of modern ventriloquism is Fred Russell, and he's the first guy to use a doll to engage in conversation. All right, and next slide. And vaudeville was a big place where a lot of ventriloquists could ply their trade. And of course, vaudeville was from the late 1800s to 1930s, early 1930s, when radio came along and basically booted everybody. Go ahead, next slide. Okay, the great Lester. So you can see he's right in there during the vaudeville years. And what's interesting about him, he claims that he was the first to be able to drink water while also talking. But there's some evidence that in 1821, someone else had performed this trick. He also was the first to walk among audiences with a little figure. We call them figures. People are all worried about, what do you call them? Are they dummies? Don't call them dummies. Don't, look at these dummies. Oh, they cringe. Figures is a good neutral term, a figure, ventriloquist figure. And actually, it's ventriloquial, being an English teacher, right? Thank you. The adjective would be a ventriloquial figure. You ever heard that before? No, I learned it too through Facebook, right? Facebook is a huge connection. There's I would estimate there's probably about 5,000 people like me who are out there in communities trying to keep this art alive. That's not a lot of people out of 300 million people in the United States. All right, let's move on. The greatest student, Brad, get ready to say, again, what you said a moment ago. Not yet. Who was the most famous student of the great Lester? Brad. Edgar Bergen. All right. Edgar Bergen, 1903 to 78, right? And Charlie McCarthy was his figure. And he was really took it to the next level. You can see that Charlie McCarthy was really famous. I mean, hanging out with the likes of W.C. Fields, Mae West, Marilyn Monroe. Edgar Bergen left $10,000 to Charlie in his will. And that was, it seems kind of silly, but it was really to continue to promote the Charlie McCarthy era. How much did he leave to Candace? Nothing. He left nothing. Candace later in a biography said she thinks it was because she was a bit of a wild child at one time in her life. He was kind of making up for that. Some of the merchandise, and his radio show. I want that deal. I want to be a ventriloquist on the radio. Yeah. And it was incredibly, where it was really valuable. People loved this. All right, now we're starting to get into the era some of you guys are going to remember. I know you're all way too young for Edgar Bergen, but you may not be so young for Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney. We have a couple of Jerry Mahoney's up here. This little one and this one, these are sort of twins. Here are some of the figures, right? And yes, that is my grandson in the lower right corner. That's Liam. Paul Winchell invented the first artificial heart. He was very talented in disposable razors. And why do I have Tigger there? Because he was the voice of Tigger also.
Wow.
So he had a popular children's television show, very diverse in his activities and interests. Next, Danny O'Day, and I brought Danny O'Day. I brought Jerry Mahoney's, and I brought Mortimer Snerd over here, who's a friend of Charlie McCarthy, and an assortment of these figures. So Danny O'Day, you remember Nestle's, N-E-S-T-L-E-S, Nestle's is the very best chocolate. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. So yeah, so that's a famous song. That's what kept Jimmy Nelson going. He died only 2019, so he was around a long time. The picture in the lower right corner, once again, my grandson. Yes, I'm brainwashing my kids early. I posted that on a Facebook group, and I got a message back, and it said, "My dad would have loved this picture," and it was from Lee Nelson, Jimmy Nelson's son. It was really cool. Yeah. Sherry Lewis. Her real name was Phyllis Naomi Hurwitz, right? And Sherry Lewis just seemed a little more American. And so what television show, October 1st, 1960, got kicked off the air in order to make room for her? Another kid show.
Bonanza.
No. Bonanza kept going for a while.
Oh,
Another puppet show.
Mickey Mouse Club.
Howdy Doody, very good, yeah. Howdy Doody got booted, and then she took the place of Howdy. So today's ventriloquist, some of the names you know: Darcy Lynn, upper left; Jeff Dunham; Jay Johnson, maybe you remember him from Soap. He had a role in Soap. Willie Tyler, and then of course Terry Fator. Some of these people won America's Got Talent. That's what really kickstarted their careers. I had a real cool opportunity to go see Terry Fator in Las Vegas. And I was with Steve Sherman, some of you know Steve and Jan, and my wife. We were on the plane, and I took a selfie of us, and I posted it on Facebook, again, to my Facebook group, my ventriloquist Facebook group. And I said, we're on our way to Las Vegas, and our first show is going to be Terry Fator. When we get to Las Vegas, I'm standing in the, waiting for luggage. I turn my phone back on, because I had on airplane mode. There's a message from Terry Fator. Meet me backstage after the show. I got to meet Terry Fator, and some people don't believe me, so I'm going to show you a picture. It's very cool. Nice guy. Get a chance to go to Las Vegas and see Terry Fator. It's incredible, not just as a ventriloquist. His lips do not move, but he can also imitate any singer, anybody. It's amazing. Where do ventriloquial, I should have said, right, figures go when they finally retire? Now, some get passed down to family members. Others are donated to the Vet Haven Museum. Right across the border from Cincinnati, this is the annual convention, a fundraiser for this. There's over 1,000 of these figures that have been donated. This is the world's largest ventriloquist collection. Started in the 1970s. What's that? Did you see? Yeah, Ronald Reagan's in there, Jimmy Carter. So there's thousands of correspondence, and started by a man named William Shakespeare Berger. He was actually the president in Cincinnati of a tile company. Cambridge.
Who makes the figures?
The figures makers are a variety of people. Marshall is one of them. Frank Marshall is one of the original makers. Ted Mack and Company, and Marshall actually worked for Mack, going back, and we're talking about going back quite a ways. So, you know, we collectors, and I guess I have to consider myself a collector since I now own 14 of these things for somebody intervention. my wife would appreciate it if you know, give me some. But let's go on here. Okay, there's some more presidents. Yeah, good question about the figure makers. They're almost as famous as the actual ventriloquists. What are the 3 most difficult letters for ventriloquists to say? Think about that. P? Yeah, P. Paper, PowerPoint. How do you do that? What's another one?
W.
Right? Bottle of beer. And then the last one?
W. Oh, M.
Okay, turn to your neighbor and say, bottle of beer without moving your lips.
Bottle of beer.
Make a D sound. Making a D sound. It's a substitute. Bottle of beer. not exact, but it works in the context of a sentence. How about PowerPoint? More of a T sound. PowerPoint, PowerPoint, PowerPoint. Puppets. How about M? That's the easiest one. You're just doing N, but making it kind of sloppy. No money. No money. Do kids these days care about ventriloquist puppets? Well, my wife and I, when I buy these little guys, I buy mostly on eBay. And they're not very expensive. They're 30, 40, 50, $100. Depends. The professional figures that you're going to see, I've got their backs to you right now, so it can be a little bit of a surprise. These are in the $1,500 to $1,700 range. Some of you can buy them for $5,000, and some of the real collectibles get way up there, into close to $10,000. The eBay though is really fun. You can buy these. Sometimes you don't have to bid; you can just outright buy them. I got all of these I purchased on eBay, with the exception of this little guy, who we're going to meet this year. And so my wife and I, if they come to us without shoes or without clothing, we will sometimes have, we'll be out on the weekend and I'll say, oh, we gotta go buy shoes for, little Jerry. Yeah, let's go buy shoes. Now, our kids are fully grown, so, we don't have little kids around. So it's kind of like our babies, right? So we go to Target and we'll look for shoes for these little kids, right? Just to outfit them and make sure that they look good. Mortimer over here, we had to buy the bow tie and we had to buy the checkered shirt. Well, we're standing there in Target and guess who spots us and comes up and mother says, we're so sorry. We have to interrupt you. My son is fascinated with that puppet that you brought in. And we bring the puppet in a bag so nobody can see it, right? We don't walk through holding it up. We bring it in and here's what this little guy looked like. And he knew all about ventriloquist figures and their names, and he just had to hold Jerry Mahoney. And this is the first Jerry Mahoney, and here he is. I've kept him all these years since I was 10 years old. He and I did talent shows together. We did a birthday party where I was paid for first time ever getting paid to actually entertain. Right? And then I kind of forgot about ventriloquism and put it away for like 50 years or something. I had to get married, raise children, get a college education, get a job, work for Bob Shapiro, do all these crazy things. Bob was on the board at Uncle Craig with me when I was there. I was the CEO. So we had to do a lot of things, and then it kind of started to bubble up again, like an interest. Like I always wanted to be a collector, and I kind of joke about it. Like I'm a collector of ventriloquist figures. I own one so far. Right? I've had them for 60 years. Well, finally, you sort of get to be a grandparent. You get to do things that you want to do. So I started collecting these figures. All right, let's see what's next. Well, there's me. Okay, now the picture on the right is what I looked like when I started in Rotary. 35 years, young guy. Yeah. And thank goodness my mom took this picture. And if you ask ventriloquists that are part of these Facebook groups, how did you get started? It's always a picture like that. There's like hundreds and hundreds of us that have those kind of pictures. So how many ventriloquist figures are in my collection? 14, as I mentioned. The ones at the bottom are the professional figures. This little guy is really interesting here. This is Jerry Mahoney replica, authorized replica. This guy was made by a puppet maker who mostly made marionettes. And he was a 1950s, made out of what they call wood dough, which is kind of a combination of wood and dough, I guess. So you see some of these I brought along today, but these are the professional ones. What's next here? There you go. Jerry Mahoney, Conrad Dave, and Connor O'Connor. Now, Connor O'Connor did not come with that name. He just showed up, right? And so you gotta play with him for a while. Put him in your lap, make him talk, see what comes out of his mouth. And I thought maybe he was French for a while. Bonjour, je m'appelle Henri or François, I don't know, right? So I was like, it didn't work. I even put a little mustache on, a little Poirot mustache. See? And he could be a Poirot. He could be a Clouseau, but that wasn't quite right. Then we tried German. Yeah. In German. And it's like, no, that didn't work. So finally, and then British, right? I say, what do you say? Perhaps I'm British. Doesn't he look a little British? I love that face. I love that little inquiring face. I just saw that little guy. And then, you know what he turned out? He finally admitted, "'Tis true, 'tis true. I'm an Irishman." So we named him Connor O'Connor, and his middle name is Colin. And it's really hard to say. Connor, Colin O'Connor. Co. All right. And so here's a little bit of a snapshot of my collection before we added Connor and a few others. And this is the Where's Waldo? Again, my grandson. He's celebrating, I think, 2 years now, coming up pretty soon. So my daughter, Melissa, some of you remember Melissa when she was a tiny tyke and used to come do Rotary projects with us. She's married and lives in Reno. Her husband works for Tesla. They met at UC Santa Cruz. She was an English major. English major, it's a good option. And my younger daughter, Kelsey, is went to CSU East Bay and majored in history. All right, I think we're about ready. I wanted to give Bill a chance to eat his lunch, and I think where's Bill? Oh, you're okay. All right. So Bill, you can relax because I think we're gonna. Unless you're ready, are you ready to sing? Okay, let's do that. So I do have a YouTube series if you're interested. I started making it for my grandkids, and then all of a sudden other people joined. Brian's a member, and Brian, you want to talk about the chit chat? What happens on Fridays?
Oh, every Friday morning, bright and early, there's a new chit chat episode with Jerry Mahoney. Yeah.
And are they good?
Oh yes, I can.
Of course they are. I didn't want him to say anything else. Like, yeah, they're good, but you have to always. Thank you so much for that. I didn't even have to ask for that testimony. So check it out, Chit Chat with Jerry Mahoney. It's a lot of fun. I try to keep it to about 2 minutes. Okay, and I think we're ready. Let's meet Conrad and Dave. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and do Dave first, like we're talking about, so you can chill for a little bit. Great.
You're done with the PowerPoint, right?
Done with the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah. Is he the one that was making all this?
Yes. No, that was Larry.
There.
There we go.
All right, let's begin with Dave. Dave gets to go in microphone. All right, you can all hear me okay? How's it look, Ricky?
Doing good.
Ricky's my light guy.
You're all lit up, man.
He's my everything guy. So again, thank you so much, Ricky. So Dave. Oh, all right. I want to make sure we're getting, all right. So hey, how's it going, Dave? Good, yeah, really good. Yeah. What is that? Is that your laugh? Yeah, what do you think? So hey, listen, Dave, what is it? Why don't you tell the audience here? What is it you do for a living? Oh yeah, get this. So I'm a sit-down comedian. Sit-down comedian? Yeah. I see you have a Rotary pin on. Yeah, I do. Yeah. What's that mean? Oh, I'm a member of the Pleasanton North Rotary. Yeah, I figured maybe you were. Hey, listen, Dave, what was the deal? You were scribbling away on something just this morning, kind of early when we woke up. He was like scribbling on a legal pad. What was that all about? Yeah, I was working on the routine. Working on the routine. What routine? What am I doing now? We're not doing the routine, we're just talking. That's a good thing. And listen, I told you don't need to work on the routine or the jokes or any of that kind of thing. I've got all that taken care of. I got news for you. What's that, dude? The jokes aren't that funny. All right, fair enough. Hey, guys, I'm gonna fix this one. Doing a little recording here, okay. My jokes are not that funny? Yeah, sorry. Well, you want to do a routine or you just want to talk? Let's just talk. All right. So listen, last night I'm trying to sleep and you're over there reading a book with a flashlight. What was that all about? Yeah, that was a great book. What was the book? It was about levitation. I couldn't put it down. All right. And then all of a sudden the batteries ran out. And what was the deal with the batteries running out? Yeah, suddenly I was delighted. Why don't you just talk in the mic? That's what I'm doing. And so you're not, where's your batteries? You can't. No, I'm gonna give them away. Free of charge. Hey, listen, you and I enjoy reading the newspaper in the morning. You know, I look at the headlines in the restaurant reviews. What did we see this morning? Yeah. What's that restaurant in downtown? Oh yeah, new restaurant downtown Pleasanton called On the Moon. What did they say about that? Yeah, they said good food, no atmosphere. And what was the headline? Did you read about this little short clairvoyant that escaped from Santa Rita Jail? What was the deal with it? What was the headline? Yeah, you like this. This was the small, medium, at large. So, and what was the deal with the crossword puzzle? You look like you were frustrated. Yeah, I couldn't get a clue. What was the clue? Maybe the audience can help us. It's a 4-letter word for feathers. 4-letter word for feathers. That ring a bell? Anybody do crossword puzzles? Starts with a D. Oh, thank you, Bill. Down? What? Down? No, across. Hey, this might be a little sensitive topic, but I understand you got a little police the other day. Yeah, that wasn't so good. Well, what happened? Yeah, he gets me out of the car and he says, you know, you're staggering. Yeah, and I said, yeah, you're pretty good looking yourself. Then what? Then we laughed, and then he took me to jail. All right, this isn't the first time you've had trouble with the law. No, I stole a calendar once. What'd you get? 6 months. You guys get that one? Right here is much laughter. You just let me know if they don't.
Okay, they didn't get that one. Yeah.
All right, hey, this is not funny stuff. I'm not being funny. Well, you are kind of being funny. All right. Hey, let's change the subject a little bit. Speaking of calendars, isn't today a special 10-year anniversary or something? Oh yeah, get this. So yeah, 10 years ago, I asked my childhood sweetheart, my best friend, and the most beautiful lady in the world to marry me. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, they all said no. It's okay. Why is it okay? I think I have a new girlfriend. Why do you think you have a girlfriend? Well, I think she ran off to the West Indies. Oh, Jamaica. No, she went on her own. That was hard. She went on her own. Well, did you? I think you told me your girlfriend fell in love with you at first sight. She did. What happened? She took a second look. You know, she told me I wasn't that good of a lover. I don't know how she could make that determination in a minute and a half. Hey, this is family. Hey, did you ever say anything to her that maybe upset her? Well, she was putting on her makeup one time. Yeah. She was painting on her eyebrows real high. And I said, what's with the eyebrows, sweetie? And she looked at me really surprised. Okay, listen, we're gonna change the subject. I understand you fell down a well. Yeah, I didn't see that well. You went to the doctor and he checked you out? Yeah, I was fine. And how'd that go? Good. You know, at the end, he says, I want to talk to you about your weight. About your weight? Yeah. I said, no worries, it was just 10 minutes and the chairs were very comfortable. All right, Dave, I think we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Do you have any words of wisdom for everybody? Yeah, 2 things. Good news, sharks will only attack you when you are wet. Okay, that's nice to know. What's the other thing? Don't trust elevators. You should take steps to avoid them. This is a joke level. Are we done? Just one thing was that I don't know if I have a girlfriend anymore. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cute girls here in the audience. Yeah. Let me help you out. I'll be solid. Ladies, if you fell in love with David at first sight when you walked in, just raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I got a suggestion. Take a second look. All right, we're good. We're gonna bring up Conrad. Yeah. So this is Conrad. Conrad, you want to say anything? Dandy, dandy, hello, hello. So, yeah, Conrad's got a little different personality. Conrad is into theater and the arts and music. He recites Shakespeare from time to time. Indeed, indeed. And he likes to sing. He's going to be singing along with Bill. Thank you so much. And Conrad, do you know where we are today? Not sure. We'll take a look around. What do you think? He likes to do this. I like to see if he can guess where we are. I think I knew. You want to whisper it in my ear? Okay, I'm going to cover up his ears. Hold on a second. He thinks we're at a Barry Manilow convention. You're right, Conrad. Barry Manilow. Indeed, I knew it all. Well, what do you want to do for that? I want to sing a Barry Manilow song. I write the song that made the whole. Hold on. You know what? We're not at a Barry Manilow. You fooled me. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a song called Till There Was You from Meredith Wilson, and Bill is going to accompany us on guitar. Here we go. There were bells on a hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were birds in the sky, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you. Then there were roses and wonderful roses. They tell me it's sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you. Till there was you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have just like a couple minutes for questions. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that. Thank you, Tom Fox, for sitting with me. Tom Fox was an original member of the Pleasanton North Rotary Club. Tom and I were definitely in favor of having women join. There were a group of us that said, "You guys are nuts. Women are the future of Rotary," and you guys.
And everything.
And thank you for stepping away. Yes, sir, Mike.
So would it be easier for you if you had facial hair? Mustache, beard, to cover
Yeah,
up?
sure. Why not? Just big old, yeah. But at my age, I'll be gray, kind of like my husband.
So it's because we call him a dummy.
Yeah.
I mean, your attention is drawn to the dummy
Right.
versus you, because you're just like.
The straight man.
vanilla,
Yeah.
You know, not, so is that why it makes it easier for you to be
I hope that's true, yeah, I mean, everybody has this need over their shoulders to see if the lips are moving. But you have to get over that pretty fast. Edgar Bergen said, if you're watching me, you're missing the show. You really gotta just go, yeah, but that's the head, and yeah. And, you know, and one of the things I've really learned is, and what I'm doing right now, for example, I'm not looking at the finger, but he's still moving around. So you gotta keep, he's his own little guy, he's alive. Of course I'm alive, what do you mean? Did you not realize that you're actually not alive? What? Next question. Steve. I'll hardly ever. You know, I've done like five performances since I started all this. You're probably the fourth Rotary Club. I did a magic show. No, third Rotary Club. I got to participate in a magic show, and my big one was last week at the Stone Ridge Creek Retirement Facility. Over 200 attendees, and we had like 50 minutes. So my daughter joined me. We did a lot more. We did a couple songs, and just the seniors there are just fantastic. They came back over. Yes, it was great. Let's hear it for Jim. Thank you. And Dennis, would you like to come up here and try to give away some money? I think there's a little over $100. 103. Who's got their tickets? Bill Burke probably.
There's 9 chips in there, and there's a red one. I forget it.
1 out of 9.
Oh, we just need the ticket. So reminder, next week is the 5th Thursday. So what does that mean? That means there's no lunch meeting, and we will have our club social at Ricky Walters' house.
I'll send an email this afternoon.
On Spruce in Livermore.
Next Thursday night.
Next Thursday, 5 o'clock. Thank you. All right, get your tickets out. 651. You're probably all still in it, right? 202. Look at that, Julio. Nope. 651 224.
Gilbert. What a surprise.
What a surprise.
1 chip, Bill. It's here somewhere.
All right, well, when we come back for our next lunch meeting, we'll have even larger pie. With that, our meeting is adjourned.